Okay then. That was an adventure. And nobody's here yet. And let me see if Heidi. Yay. Hello, Elaine. Hello, Linda. I had a little trouble getting this thing set up, but now it's set up. I had accidentally set it to work with a streaming software, and I meant to make it work with my webcam. So basically, I just had to start a new live, and I see that Lisa is here. Yay! Well, how's everybody doing? Before we get started, let's just have a little chit chat, see if any more people come along. Looks like we have 7 people here so far. And we have, oh, hi, Jennifer. 8 people here. 2 thumbs up so far. So here we are. What's in your cup? What's on your hook? All that sort of thing. Yeah. I was going to have this live stream yesterday, but I had a problem with my computer, and I wound up having to reinstall my operating system, which I did in the middle of the night, which explains why I'm rather tired right now. But I would not have been able to do that without the help of my ex-Mike, and actually he just sent me to an article about what to do, and it was very easy, because of course he wasn't walking me through it on the telephone at like 2 o'clock in the morning. But oh, Linda, you're doing an amigurumi cat. How cool. I'm still working on that shawl that I started the other day, and right now I'm frogging a row because I found a mistake. I hate making mistakes. Don't you? Okay, now I can start over. So this is what I have so far with that shawl. I'm using the same, this is actually a fiber spider pattern. Yay, Craig. And it's the same yarn that I had before, the Lion Brand Mandala in the colorway of Valkyrie. And it looks nice, I think. But I just had to frog because of that one mistake. But now I've recovered from it and I'm ready to go. And I'm almost done with it, really, because I'm almost done with the second cake of yarn. So let's see, Elaine, you're working on a modern rectangle granny blanket from the Crochet Crowd. That's cool. Oh, hey, Donine from Saskatchewan. Comfy Cozy Crochet with Tris has a divine cowl on her hook. That's cool. So, yeah, Linda, we're just, oh, hi, Genevieve. Nice to see you too. We're of like mind where mistakes are. Oh, hey, Squishy, good to see you. Let's see. So, oh my goodness, we have 16 people in here. Wow. So the theme of this is a, well, it was going to be a topic Tuesday, but it's a topic Wednesday now. Oh, hi, Trisha. But moving forward, I do plan to do these Tuesday afternoon videos. I would like to make most of them live streams like this. And the topic today is Ask Me Anything. So I put out some feelers for questions, and I got some good questions, really. Of course, there's the obligatory, how did I get started in crochet, which is sort of a boring question, so I'll just answer it once. And that was my grandmother taught me when I was a kid, and then I picked it up again about 6 years ago as an adult, and have never put it down since. Hey Beverly, glad to see you. And let's see, a number of questions had to do with music, because I have mentioned, I have mentioned my history as a performer. I studied to be an opera singer. I've done a ton of church music. And I think one of the greatest gifts I was ever given was when someone I trusted gave me permission, in effect, not really permission, but just validation for the idea that that beauty is my connection to whatever the divine is, and that's my story. And so, you know, I can look at some beautiful church music and I can think about the faith of the people who created that music, of Bach and Brahms and even Verdi. Oh my goodness gracious, Verdi's Requiem is one of the most amazing pieces of music you will ever hear. And I can empathize there. It doesn't really matter what my belief system is. I don't really need to know it myself, and it doesn't have to be the same thing from one day to the next. Ingrid, oh, I'm so happy to see you. And hey, Tess. So there we go. And then someone did ask whether music inspired my creativity in other ways. And I'm not really sure what the answer to that is. Surely it must somehow. Whether it's music or just the love of beauty. And to me, beauty it can be music, it can be visual beauty, it can be beauty in the works of men, beauty in the deeds of men and women, I should say. So Fiber Spider asks whether I have a favorite brand of yarn, and I would say it is Lion Brand. I hope Lion Brand is listening. Huh. But yeah, pretty much Lion Brand. I like their mandala cakes. I like their Pound of Love. Very fond of their Pound of Love. And I would like to try some of their other yarns. I like everything that I've tried. Now there are some other cheaper yarns that I do use sometimes. But but I would be happy with Lion Brand for everything, actually. Let's see, what else do we have? Someone actually before asked me if I like musicals, and of course I do. Musicals actually grew out of opera, and I'm passionate about opera. And there are some amazing musicals out there. There are some mediocre musicals out there, but then I don't think every opera is great either. I really like the operas of the 30s, 40s, 50s, well, mainly 40s, 50s, and 60s. Oklahoma, I think, is one of the greatest achievements on the musical stage. There are some newer musicals that I like, although I haven't seen as many of the newer ones. There was one that I saw, actually, I don't even think it made it past previews on Broadway, but a friend of mine was in the pit, so I got to see one of the final dress rehearsals, and it was called Coram Boy, and it had actually, I believe it had been very successful in the West End of London. And it incorporated music from Handel's Messiah. And it was actually quite beautiful. But it really never made it on Broadway. Let's see. Yeah, Fiber Spider. There are lots of yarns out there where you don't get a lot of yardage, and I like to do large projects. Oh, okay. Lisa's throwing me questions, so let me see if they're on my phone here. My favorite stitch and my favorite finished object. My favorite stitch is one, it's basically an enhanced half double crochet. You know, where with a double crochet, in US terms, with a double crochet, you pull the loop through, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. With an enhanced double crochet, you yarn over, pull through one, and then yarn over, pull through the last three. And you get the same height as a double crochet, but you also get that cute little ridge that you get with half double crochet. And I think I'd much rather see a panel made of that stitch than a panel made just with double crochet or half double crochet. So I used it extensively in my sweater pattern. My sweater pattern, by the way, oh darn, there's another one. We're going to pretend it's not there. My sweater pattern is out with testers, but if anyone else wants to test my sweater pattern, send me an email. Let's see. Scale and unboxing. Oh yeah. I actually, I don't know what's available in other countries. But I know that it's totally different in many cases. And some of the American brands that I use very freely, that are not very expensive here, I know that they can be very expensive overseas. And there's even a difference between US and Canada. Kate, if you know Kate Bitch and Stitches, she has done a lot of videos where she features Canadian producers and distributors of yarns, and she has shown some really beautiful yarns too. She had a giveaway recently, and I was sad that I didn't win the yarn that she was giving away. I have to try to get some trade out of it. Oh, honeydew melons. I'm not sure I know you, but would you believe I have been to Wichita Falls, Texas? A long, long time ago. I can't remember the name. There's a university there. And at the time, I was working temporarily in Dallas, and friends of mine were doing a summer opera program at that university. So that's funny. Sherry is asking about the green yarn. Here's the green yarn. My latest thought, I haven't started anything. I wanted to start that project. Actually, I wanted to start it yesterday, but I haven't finished the shawl yet, and I wanted to finish the shawl. The shawl is almost done. Just another couple of rows, and I think it'll be done. Oh, that's right, Honeydew. Midwestern State University. I found that curious because Texas is not in the Midwest. Anyway, I think currently I'm leaning toward the original idea that I had back in the beginning, which was a Bonnie Bay design, her Yuletide throw. It's a free download. I believe it's a Red Heart or a Yarnspirations pattern. But it's I will keep you posted on progress for that. Okay, Trish is asking if this shawl is made with Valkyrie. It is. It's that's the colorway. It's the same colorway as the Bag a Day shawl I just made. When I took advantage of the 5 for 10 sale at Lion Brand, the only mandala colorway that they had was Valkyrie, and I didn't mind, getting 5 of those, and I've used 2 of them in this shawl, and I will, by the time I'm done, I will have used most of the second cake. And actually, I'm collecting the remnants of mandala cakes because they're all the same weight and an interesting assortment of colors. And I'm going to make some kind of a scrap project with that. Actually, because it's a light or a DK weight yarn, and it feels soft, I might make some sort of a baby garment or 2 with it. So, hello, Creations by Jax. I'm missing a lot of this. So, Fiber is talking about me biting the bullet, or somebody's biting the bullet. Dark chocolate bullets. Interesting. Oh, thank you, Honeydew. Honeydew thinks I have awesome content. And she's right. Huh. Now would be a good time for you guys to agree. What was I going to say next? Well, actually, I asked myself some questions in case I didn't have enough questions from the audience. My Sunday posts are all poetry. and I imagine people might be curious about that. And I will have to say that for a very long time, I didn't really, hello Michaela, I didn't really have an appreciation for poetry, not that much. I guess I thought I wasn't really patient enough for it. But during most of my time in the New York area, I rode the subway just about every day. And they had, amongst all the advertising for, pimples and public health concerns and that sort of thing, um, they had a series sponsored by, I think, the Poetry Foundation of America. I could be wrong about that, but it was called Poetry in Motion. And seeing the same poems or poem extracts every day and reading them every day sort of really led me to appreciate them more. So now I think I learned how to approach a poem that way. And so I've really actually been enjoying searching for poems that I can use for those Sunday readings. And I had a wonderful one selected for next Sunday because it's the day before Martin Luther King, and it was related to that. For those non-US people, next Sunday, our next Monday is the day, the holiday in observance of Martin Luther King's birthday. I don't know what the actual date is, but in the US we tend to make our holidays on Mondays wherever possible. But I couldn't use it because it was copyrighted, and I didn't dare use a copyright poem by a high-profile poet. And that's that. So it's interesting. I've been enjoying researching and finding poems that are new to me, and some that I've known for quite some time and enjoyed. So I hope that everybody. Oh, hey, Granny D. Ah, she's giving me her tardy note. Okay, Ingrid says, do I have a favorite place where I like to sit and crochet that is really calming? Actually, right where I am now. Like this is a bedroom in our house that is sort of an office, and I've used it as an office and now as a craft room. But there's also a lot of storage in here as well. I've mentioned before that my sister and I live together in our late mother's house. So in effect, we have 3 households in one house. So there's a lot of boxes still. But slowly, things are clearing up. So what am I missing in terms of conversation? No. Let's see. Do I have a favorite place? Oh, there was a question about my favorite finished object. Oh, I don't know. I'm really quite fond of that that sweater. Although I wouldn't really call it finished yet, because I made some changes to the pattern after I tried it on. But I'm not going to change the one that I have, which coincidentally is draped over the chair behind me. Other finished objects, I did this big metered granny square Afghan based on a picture. I might have to write that up as a pattern. And I quite liked that, although there was a lot of work in piecing it together. Let's see what else. Well, Trish, I agree with your comment about poetry. It's really a matter of taste, whether you're going to enjoy the poet or the poem. And some of that is situational too. So you really I try to expose myself to as much as possible. I mentioned the Poetry in Motion program that they had in the subways in New York. They actually, I think they've put out several books. And they were some well-known poets, Edna St. Vincent Millay and E. E. Cummings, and some poets I didn't know. So it was always interesting. Okay, Granny D is asking about favorite knitting needles and hooks. Well, actually, my topic next week is going to be all about tools. And then I will talk about my favorite brands. There is a gift of a Furls hook wending its way through the mail to me, even as we speak. I hope that I will have received it and played with it by then, so I can talk about that, because it will be my very first Furls hook. And I've mentioned before some of my favorites. I usually like the ones that fit in my hand comfortably, which is why Furls looks interesting to me, and I would like to try it, but they don't come cheap. But I would like to talk about tools at length next week. Lisa, yes, that's one thing that we call an idiot here as well, a tool. But what else? Oh yes, Granny D, you're a Furls girl, and I would join the legion of admirers who would offer to rescue any of your unused Furls hooks. But I'm sure many other people have made that suggestion before me. Let's see, what did Lisa say? Let's see. Yes, Fiber Spider, I did see your video where you reviewed the Furls hooks, which I found interesting. So I'm glad that I'm going to receive this one as a gift before spending any money on them, so that I get to figure out whether I like them or not. Let's see, I'm not sure I have any boy hooks. I have a bunch of aluminum hooks that are unbranded. It's only recently that I learned and retained the difference between hook types. But I want to save something to talk about next week when we talk about tools. We'll talk about at length about hooks, and I hope that you will all be ready to talk about tools then as well. Exactly, Fiber Spider. They are rather pricey. The ones that I like the most that I have are not very pricey at all. I tend to have a knife grip. Um, oh, and Lisa is asking about hook sizes. Usually for me, it's HIJ, which would be 5.5, or 6 millimeter. Depending upon the project, depending upon the yarn, I can do larger or smaller. I mean, my friend bought me some like this. This is a 20 millimeter hook, and I think I have a 25 millimeter as well. And actually, I used that hook to make a blanket because I had some super bulky yarn, and I didn't like the yarn much and just wanted to get through it. And it turned out a pretty nice blanket. Dress sizing? I think I'm missing something here about dress sizing. But anyway, I have seen some women's clothing patterns that I would find interesting to make. Some of the big name designers have some dresses and skirts, and of course there are all sorts of pullovers and cardigans and that sort of thing. Oh, excuse me. Oh, yes. Knitting by the sea. Or crocheting by the sea, since I can't knit, really. So, any more questions? What do I have on my list? Oh, actually, someone was asking about my favorite food and drink. And I think the answer to that is all of them. It would be easier to talk about foods that I don't like, really. I'm not that crazy about Indian food. I'm not. Most everything else I do like, I think. I can't think of many things that I don't like. And as for drinks, well, my tame beverage of choice is iced tea because I'm a Southern boy. I try not to drink too much soda, but sometimes I do. And then, of course, from time to time, I enjoy something stronger. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Hit me with more questions or anything else you want to talk about. Favorite film? Oh, Genevieve, I do like eggnog. If it's done well, sometimes it's just really overly sweet. And I know that sort of by definition it's supposed to be, but if it's overly sweet, it doesn't appeal to me. If it's just the right amount of sweet and the and with the right amount of spirit in it, I like it very much. So, who was it who asked about vacation spot? Trish asked about vacation spot, and Linda asked whether I have traveled outside the U.S., and I have. I've been to England and Scotland a few times. Never been to Ireland. I would like to see it. Um, I have been to the Netherlands. I have spent a substantial amount of time in Germany and Austria. Never been to France, never been to Italy, and I would really like to. I visited Denmark once. And on one trip to Amsterdam, I made a day trip to Belgium. That's pretty much it. Well, of course, I've been to Canada. Never been to Mexico, though. Never been in the Caribbean. And I lived in South Florida for 5 years. Never even went to the Keys. Fiber is asking, what do I use as background noise while stitching? Actually, it varies. Sometimes I listen to audiobooks. Sometimes I'm watching YouTube videos. Oh, excuse me. I was up in the middle of the night. For those who missed the story, I was up in the middle of the night working on reinstalling my OS. But I like to watch YouTube videos. But I usually can't watch crochet videos while I'm crocheting. That can be confusing. As for my favorite types of YouTube videos, I love cooking videos. I like automotive videos very much. Oh gosh, since I was a little kid, I've always loved cars. So those are always fun to watch. I'm not particularly handy. I couldn't change my oil. Well, I probably could, but I wouldn't want to. But I like to watch them anyway. And I do learn from watching some of those mechanical ones where they're doing all this work on cars. No, Trish, never been to Italy. I did study opera in Austria. I spent a summer in Salzburg during the Salzburg Festival. I got to study with some great people. We had master classes with some great people, and I got to see some wonderful performances that summer. And I've seen some great performances in Berlin and in Munich and in Vienna. I've always wanted to visit Budapest. So I'd like to visit other Central European and Eastern European places. Never been there. So there are also places in the U.S. where I haven't been. I've never been to Santa Fe to the Opera Festival there. I'd love to go there. I used to go to upstate New York to the Glimmerglass Festival every year. I loved it. I had a great relationship with the administration there because I wrote about them. I don't know whether everybody knows, I have an opera blog. It's called Taminophile, TAMINOPHILE. And let me just put that one in there. No. Where I write about opera and singing and all sorts of musical things. Actually, that's one thing I love to do, is to write and to write about music. But Ingrid says she hopes when I talk about changing my oil, I mean the car. Yes, indeed. Indeed. Oh, Trisha, you've been there too? Oh, and you're asking whether I am originally from the South. Actually, I've lived all over the place. My parents both grew up in North Carolina. My mother near Wilmington, in Columbus County. You will have heard of Columbus County. It's next to New Hanover County. And when I was a kid, we lived in a number of different places. Let's see. Let's see if there is. Well, Fiber Spider has a request for something from Into the Woods. Actually, I don't know anything to sing from Into the Woods. Let's see. Ooh, favorite author, Jane Austen. Who else? Jane Austen. Let's see. Who else? Thank you, Lisa, for sending me these. Favorite film. Oh, that's a tough one. I used to say All That Jazz, which came out, I believe, in like 1980. It's got Roy Scheider and other people. It's based on the story of Bob Fosse. Sort of autobiographical. But I've seen so many. I don't know whether I could choose a favorite movie. And actually, in recent years, I haven't seen as many as I used to when I was younger. The most recent movie I saw was the Mr. Rogers movie. Oh gosh, it was a year ago that I saw that. Wow. Let's see. Oh, Jax, are you doing that Jane Austen crochet thing with Petra? That sounds like fun. That book is not cheap, though. I have it on my wish list at Amazon, but it's not cheap. Let's see. Oh, bye, Tess. I'm glad you came. Let's see. What else? Lisa mentioned to me that I have talked about how at one point I was substantially heavier, and how the change came about. And it was about 19 years ago that I had bariatric surgery. It was actually shortly after 9/11. Just 6 months after 9/11, something snapped in me, and I guess I decided I wanted to live. And so I had um, the weight loss surgery and subsequently lost weight. I've also had a lot of cosmetic surgery on my body because of having lost so much weight. My weight does fluctuate because I still like to eat, and also because of various health reasons. From time to time, I can retain a lot of water. Um, and it's interesting. If I'm retaining a lot of water and then get on the right medications, I will lose that water weight a lot faster than I lost the original weight after the surgery. It was actually quite an adjustment when I had the surgery because I had always defined myself as a fat guy. And I was a fat guy who did this or a fat guy who did that. And then I had to just be a guy who, and let people see more than my body size on first glance. And that was sort of scary. But I got used to it, I guess. Let's see. What else? Oh, there's a question about videos of me singing. There are videos on my channel of me singing. They're not recent, but they're there. They're from 06, I believe. I don't really sing very much anymore. My voice is not what it once was, because my body is not what it once was. And just from non-use, I've lost a lot of the skill. And I don't know whether I want to put in all the trouble, all the effort required to regain the skill. What else do we have? Let's see. I'm missing a lot of what's being said in there. I'm glad to see we still have 15 people in the room. Thank you, Fiber Spider. So I don't know what else. Yes, we're at 50 minutes, I believe. Yes, Ingrid. Yes, I knew that people in this community would understand. And then, actually, I also had the irritation, I suppose I could say, of thinking that the only thing people knew about me was that I had lost a ton of weight. But then, on reflection, that was really my own fault for just being so tight-lipped and playing my cards so close to the vest. But not entirely my fault. But I had a role in that. Let's see what else. Oh, thank you, Ingrid. Yes, I'd love to see some more thumbs up. More questions? or more discussion about anything else? Okay. So I would invite you to let me know what you would like to see as topics for future Topic Tuesdays. I have, I will probably do another Ask Me Anything in a few months. Some of the other topics I have are tools and yarns and whips and finished objects and having guests and that sort of thing. So if you would like have any suggestions for topics, I would certainly love to hear them. If you have any suggestions for guests you would like to see, that would be nice. I've spoken to 2 people about the potential of being a guest, but nothing is set yet. But I'm sure there are other people. Of course, I'll have to use StreamYard for that. Right now, I'm in just plain old YouTube. So we'll get that going too. And I guess so. Lisa's asking what fascinates me. Oh, there are lots of things. I mean, all the favorite things I've been talking about: yarn and what you can do with yarn, cars, and cooking and music, and all of that. Beauty fascinates me. That's the best way I can put it. Oh, yes, Ingrid is asking about hand dyeing the wool that actually Fiber Spider gave me in a giveaway. I hope he's still here. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with that. I was talking with Jules, deep in the heart of Texas, about learning to dye from her. And that actually could be a topic. Actually, I think that's a very good topic. In fact, I might ask her to come on as a guest. And I might have a separate pre-recorded video for a Tuesday about my dyeing experience. Yarn dyeing, not dealing with death dyeing. That sounds like a good idea. And what else? You know, it's almost 3, and I'm oh yeah, and I'm running out of things to talk about. So I think since we've done almost an hour, we started late because I messed things up in setting this up. But we'll try to get it working well next time. But I think that we're going to come to a close now. Those of you who are not part of my Yarny family, there's a red button somewhere on your screen that I would invite you to push, or press, or smash, or whatever the young people say nowadays. And that's pretty much it. So thank you for coming. Like, subscribe, all of that stuff. Share. This will be up as a replay soon. And there we go. Good night to those of you in Europe and South Africa, and thank you for joining me. Toodles. Bye-bye.